my name is Ahmad. I'm from 180 for English Communication for Business and Professional. Right now, I would like to fill my final test in speaking for workplace, and I would like to introduce you about difficult ways to adaptation as local workers in Indonesia. Alert and always adaptive is the key for an organization, company, or person to survive in the current pandemic COVID-19. This pandemic becomes an unexpected external crisis and is beyond anyone's prediction, making high uncertainty not only for the sustainability of the organization, also becomes uncertainty for the workforce individuals within it, and people are required to have direction and ways to deal with pandemic that have never happened before, so that many new solutions are found in dealing with impacts that arise when the organization operation run in the middle of a pandemic. In this case, that I'd like to focus on discussing some of the challenges and implication of the impact caused by COVID-19. The workforce must be assisted by the organization in adjusting and adapting to the new work environment. And even single worker or workers who don't have children actually not immune or escape the risk that exists, such as loneliness, feeling bad, or not feeling have a purpose, then related to the negative uh, effect on the well-being. And to achieve the objectives in this research requires a brief exploratory step on the challenge that exists and the opportunities that exist in the era of COVID-19 pandemic. Currently, the implication of COVID-19 is undoubtedly the reach that will obtain. The researcher focuses on certain topics about adjustment, adaptation, and well-being employees or workers in dealing with the work environment in the current COVID-19 time. In addition to understanding whether the practice certain socialization can help balance return to perception that are indirectly related to mismatch among existing employees, and how to apply it well and what required, according to the previous example about the need for social relation and how the right way to balance the connection social activities that are most carried out by organizations that also see this is an opportunity to socialize in a virtual form, for example, eating virtual afternoons, virtual coffee breaks, and more. Uh, Therefore, understanding these variation problems and demands, especially in relation into the high level of work autonomy and existence of personal responsibilities that can directly impact the productivity and welfare of the employees themselves. So that steps are needed in carrying out a new model of order in the family to avoid all forms of conflict, both work conflict and conflict within the family. For example, there is a new knowledge or insight about what and how the type of additional support from the organization, whether it is from outside that is emotional or instrument, so that it can help individuals in fighting or overcoming family conflicts due to work problems that can indirectly support the organization, so that it aims to ultimately on maintaining employee welfare. One form of support that seems to be increasingly needed to balance roles in the family and works in informational support. In this context, this form of supports may include helping employees adjust to changing roles and circumstance. Uh, and then for the last example, that especially used to help employees who are not used to the new working conditions, so that employees can be better to adapt so as to achieve a fit and ultimately maximize the effectiveness of practices and initiatives aimed at reducing family to work conflicts. In general, actually increasing work autonomy can also reduce the family-related stresses that tend to arise in remote work environments by providing employees with adequate cognitive and emotional resources to manage the additional demands that are often inappropriate. However, with the children spread of COVID-19, many employees are assigned the task by the organization to work from home instead choosing to be free to carry out tasks according to their own will, which can actually adapt to their own needs and those of their CO workers. Above that, employee can consider their context in work more deeply so that the extent to which they utilize individuals in respecting the autonomy or freedom provided and also increases feeling of loneliness and reduce social relation between employees. Then in the organization can form research in the future to be able to start overcoming the challenges of work conflicts with family that exist today. In addition, the inductive approach can also direct how employees or workers to adapt and align them into a new dynamic work environment so as to achieve a work family balance can further open new, more interesting insight in the literature review of work and family conflicts and not forgetting to also uh, have the impact of relevant practical implication for organization so that they can support individuals in overcoming work-life disturbance and problems, especially during the current COVID-19 pandemic. Then insight from entrepreneurship. Several presentations have explained the challenge and how to deal with the big challenges of the during COVID-19 pandemic. Besides that, the researchers believe that adaptation in human resources is much or at least dynamic at this time can take advantage of several characteristics of entrepreneurs to be adopted in order to adapt and adjust to new working conditions so that they are better. But in previous studies, there were findings that adopting characteristics possessed by employers, such as become a great benefit employees in organization work in on the old habit. And now, conclusion and suggestion from me. I think at this time, especially during the current COVID-19 pandemic, the actually long-term implications of this pandemic are unknown, but there is a little reason to believe that its impact organizational life will be short-lived, as have as has been warned and started by health experts that it is not only the impact of the current pandemic that is actually far from over, but there is future comprehensive health crisis is like to occur again. Therefore, the focus of thinking must be forward, building the assumption that big challenge we are facing today is not a one-time event, an anomaly, but rather a new reality or fact that offers new opportunities needed by scholars, academic, and practitioner inside and outside the organization or individual. I think in the last, it is very important that there are others study or work with the examine and highlight some of the implications of the COVID-19 pandemic that are useful for adaptation, adjustment, and employee well-being. Thank you. I think that's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.